Hey everybody, welcome. Your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen, with my co-host Michael Folks, my good friend Justin Botrell, and via telephone from Fisherman's Landing, we got Mike Laus, owner operator of the Pacific Dawn, and we're going to talk about this bluefin today that our good friend Aliar stumbled into the other night, and Mike Laus is doing a trip for sure. Why don't you tell everybody what you got going on, Mr. Laus? I'm going to put up your schedule on the while you're talking.
All right, cool. All right, guys. My name's Mike Louse. I own the Pacific Dawn, and it's a 60-foot fiberglass Monjatech. It's a fiberglass hull. It was built in the Pacific Northwest. It handles weather beautifully. The bunk room is phenomenally built. You guys go online and check it out. You'll sleep well if you get a chance to sleep on my boat. But anyway, we will be leaving Thursday on a 2.5 day. I made it a definite run. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I made it a definite run with 3 people. We're hoping to get out with at least 10, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I would love it if you guys came out. Looks like they're catching fish anywhere from, I want to say, 25 to 210 pounds. And it's nighttime sprinkled with a little bit of daytime action as well. So you get jig fishing and fly line or sinker rig fishing as well.
Yeah. Hey, Mike Laus, I got Michael Folks on here. Did you ever watch Michael back in the day on Inside Sport Fishing?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Michael.
Yeah, you did one on the Excel when I was back on the Excel too.
Yep.
Yeah. Michael's a legend. A legend.
So Mike Laus used to work for all the long range guys, Michael Folks. He worked on a lot of the boats. Sounds like he was on one of your filming expeditions on the Excel.
That was a long time ago, Michael.
Yeah, I think you handed it off to his handle's the Pacific Fighter. I can't think of his name offhand right now.
Is he the crazy guy with all the bracelets? I had a guy working for him that was he had like 1,000 bracelets on his arms. Crazy.
Yeah, no, this guy he's together pretty good. He's got his stuff together. Okay. Him and another guy came on, and I can't, for some reason I'm drawing a blank, but I remember you handed it off, but that was the coolest thing. My kids were able to see it, and they could see what I did, and
cool.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
So
it was a 16 day.
So what do you think of this bluefin thing right now, Michael Folks? What do you think? I got Mike Laus and Michael Folks and Justin and Al all talking here because we're trying to get the season going here, gang. For some strange reason, Michael Folks, nobody wants to fish for fish. They only want to go catch a 200-pound bluefin. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But what do you think of that, Michael Folks?
Well, I love the school size fish because they don't hurt you. You get into those big boys and they really they can put the hurt to you pretty quick. But those 40 to 60 pound fish are right in my wheelhouse. And I guess Aaron Barnhill was wrapping up some fish down there last couple of days. Mike, I think you heard about it for the pins. And I think he said they had I can't remember exactly, but I think he said they had like 30 tons wrapped up yesterday of really nice fish that were going to the pins. So it's
pretty steady. Their quota got a little larger, so it's taking a little longer, but it's pretty steady for them.
Good.
Fish are getting smart. They're getting smart.
Those bluefin learn quick, don't they?
They sure do.
So, Mike Laus, you're leaving on a 2.5 day trip with 3 people. If anybody that's listening to this show, if you can wrap your head around that, you're going out on a beautiful boat that normally carries 15 people. You're going to go out with 3, 4. If you and your buddy show up, there's going to be 5 of you on the boat. What's going to happen, Mike? What time are you going to try to leave the dock? Are meals included? Do you got food on the boat? What's going on?
Yeah, so meals are included on this trip. I this is a charter boat, so I have to be 20%. My ticket price has to be 20% higher than a regular open party trip. So we just tag along and put on meals included as well, and that kind of helps the whole deal out. People see it, and it captivates them a little bit more, especially in a time where people are worried about money. But nothing changes. I mean, we still have the same stuff we would have on a charter. We got a chef on the boat. I hope he's on this trip, but we have a full time like a real chef, and he'll be with us all summer. He just can't quit his job right now because it's too spotty. But yeah, we try to give you the long range experience on a small boat. That's what I was taught. I didn't grow up on them, but I learned from those guys on the long range boats. If you're going to get your hook back, we're not going to just break it off and throw it in the fish hole. Everything gets gill and gutted, bled, put down in an RSW, and you're gonna get the same experience that you would on any one of these one of the nicer boats. The top boats, we take care of the people the same way that they would.
Well, we got to see your boat the other day on Day at the Docks when we did the live show on your boat. But why don't you explain to everybody that's listening where you came from, how long you've been in this thing, and just give them a little bit of background of who you are. I know Michael Folks is going to get a kick out of that, being in this industry as long as he has. I am very, very proud to have you as a friend. You grew up Dana Wharf sport fishing, so it means a lot to me to have you on the show. You and Allie are down there whooping some ass, showing them what it's all about. And it's cool to see the Dana Wharf sport fishing guys down there carrying on my father's legacy. It's pretty cool.
Well, when I was a kid, I was barely getting into high school, and I remember it was Shano, and I think you were on the boat too, actually, a Seahorse, and I would actually go out on that, and I would pin it on that boat every once in a while, and the other half day boats on Dana Wharf, and I tried to get on independent studies, and my mom said no, and that ended my career. Well, not ended, but I had to take a little bit of a break, and joined back a little bit later in life. I had a couple of kids, and then I was like, you know what? This job is just killing me. I was working for family, driving 65 miles, to work every day, and I went back to Dana Wharf, and I told, I went down to the Clemente, and I go, hey, you guys hiring? They said, yeah. You know what? It's March. We're not really hiring right now. I said, all right, well, I'm going to come down every day until you say yes. And I did. I came down every day until they had 65 people for 2-for-1 Tuesday. Didn't take long.
Yeah.
They put me on the boat, and I worked for free. I didn't care though. I didn't care. I wasn't going to fight with them. I was just happy to get back into the industry. And well, my passion was tuna, and so I quickly, I worked for Dana Wharf for a few years, and in Doesburg on the Fury, and I had to sink my teeth into get down into San Diego and do something a little bit more. I knew this is what I wanted to do. It was like the passion for the ocean and fishing was so great. I knew exactly what I wanted. I dropped everything to do it.
That's very cool, Michael.
Yeah, and I was working with Sean Throwbridge, legend, and Aaron Barnhill, and yeah, that's right. I learned how to really fish offshore. I really learned how to fish offshore there, and well, being a family man living in San Clemente, 4 months out of the year, just being a deckhand, and wasn't really cutting it. So when Aaron took off, I went to the Shogun. I went with him. And, Cole and I were the engineers over there, and Aliar was there with me. And from there, I went to the Excel because they ran full speed. I think that was right when they started selling the boat out completely. And, Wi-Fi just came out. And that's when I could, you'd see the pictures of Hurricane Bank, and not of a Hurricane Bank itself, but the fish coming off out of the water. And it was just gut wrenching. I had to do it. So I did, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I'll never forget my first long trip we had like 65 over 2.
Jeez.
And it was good fishing.
Yeah.
It was really good fishing. I thought it was like that all the time. I was like, man, this is great.
I wish.
It's not. But yeah, so I stayed there for several years, and I never would have left. I never would have left. My dad talked me into coming back to the shop. He's like, you're not going to get any younger. I tried it again. I tried the land job one more time, and I was just miserable. I was completely miserable. They lured me back into 5-star to briefly come back and start, just to get my foot back in the door and wait for something to open back up on the Excel. And sure enough, I needed money, so I hopped on the Intrepid for a trip, and they're like, well, if you want to work this trip, you got to commit a season over here. I was like, are you kidding me? I got to commit a whole season just to work a trip? So I did. I needed to get out there, and I just did it. And I was a chief engineer on the Intrepid when they did the repower. We missed some trips in the beginning due to it, but that was a really cool learning experience. Helped build that engine room, and it's a beautiful boat.
That repower was insane, wasn't it, on the Intrepid?
Yeah.
Massive.
I mean, it was the engines were snorkeled in before, and it was like 130 degrees out in the engine room.
Oh, I was there a couple of days. It was insane.
It was insane. I was like, I can't. God, you guys want me to be the engineer over here? Like, this is terrible. Terrible. Luckily, we went right to the shipyard after that trip, and they were getting ready to buy the engines, and I told the guy that was selling us the engine how hot it was in there. I said, you need to help me, man. He said, oh, don't worry, I won't warranty him if it's that hot. So he ended up. I mean, it's like 90 degrees in there now. It's bitching. That engine room's pretty cool. Well, I only worked a season over there. I just felt like I wasn't. Like I said, my goal was to eventually buy a boat and get in the. I wanted a tuna fish. I really wanted a tuna fish. There were 2 young captains over there. I wasn't going to go any further. I wasn't learning. I was learning, but I wasn't. I wanted more. I wanted more. So I went to work for Roy Rose.
Good guy.
Well, yeah. Frank called me, and I think it was in June. He called me and asked me if I could work, and I told him I committed to the Intrepid for a year. And he's all, "Wow, you're gonna obligate." He was surprised to hear that I was actually gonna, hold up to the deal. He's all, "Well, I'll wait for you."
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's cool that you honored your commitment.
That's really where, I learned a lot from Justin Fleck.
Yep.
I learned a shitload from him, kite fishing and stuff. But then Roy, and then Jeff DeBuy was over there as well. So those 2 guys, I picked a little bit from each one of them and kind of made my own little, my own style. And the kite fishing that Roy does is pretty intense and pretty cool. And that's the kind of kite fishing I do now. But I learned a whole lot over there. I learned a whole lot. The boat's 40. Well, it was 45 years old at that time. It's a little older now. So all the machinery on there is beautiful, but it needs attention.
all the time.
So my skills, fixing things got better, and that was a really cool experience. That was a really cool experience. I went from there and I started running the Tomahawk.
Pitching boat.
Yeah, and I ran the Tomahawk, and I don't know, I don't really want to get into that too much, but from there, I went into the yacht industry. I was running a 72-foot Viking, a new one.
Sweet.
And yeah, but the problem with that for me was I was relying on a person, basically to tell me I either had a job tomorrow or not. It was uncertain. I didn't feel secure. I was making good money. I was showing up to work in flip-flops every day. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment. Maybe I love fixing things in the middle of the night, in the engine room for 3 hours, 4 hours, rolling around.
In the trough.
To be punished. Yeah, in the trough.
Well, there's a Mike Laus, there's a different thing when the yacht business, when you're a guy and the reason I wanted you all to hear the passion in Mike Laus's voice and everything is because Mike Laus is a fisherman at the end of the day, and Frank Lopresti knew who you were. I mean, Michael Folks and I good friends with Frank, and Frank trusts you so much that he helped you get this boat you're on right now, but also he wanted to make sure he got you over on the Royal Polaris. And I want everybody to understand who the guy is that we're listening to right now, because this guy is a workaholic. He has no quit in him. And the yacht thing, I've been in it for a very long time. It's a different animal. There's many, many days we're watching you guys go out and come back with boatloads of fish while we're sitting at Catalina on the mooring can, because that's what the boss and his wife want to do. So the yacht industry is a different animal. Yeah, we get to fish sometimes, but a lot of times we're leaving the fish when they just start biting because the boss has a tea time or something. So the yacht thing's a totally different animal. And Mike Laus, you and I, we got together in Florida. We talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
And it just didn't fit into your thing, your DNA. It's I got Captain Al Clowers right here. I got Justin Botrell. I got Michael Folks. We all know this fishing thing is a big time passion to all of us, but to hear what you're talking about, it's not a knock on you because you didn't do the yacht thing. It's a different animal. And
it's a totally different animal. I mean, the boat, everything was bitching. The people involved with it that got me that far, they were really cool. Galati, everybody was great. It was just not, I liked fishing every day. Yeah, I really missed fishing, well, on those boats I was fishing, 250 to 260 days a year. And, to go to 13 to 50 days was just, that was, I mean, I guess 50 days was a lot. And
God, that's being incredible.
A lot for a yacht.
I haven't fished 50 days in 20 years.
I couldn't do it. And, I really like taking people fishing. I enjoy it. I like teaching them how to do it. And they don't forget it. They don't forget it. That's one of the things that people, they go, hey, you remember me? I go, no, I'm sorry, not really. And they'll show me pictures, of 10, 12, 15 years ago or something. And it's just, it's really cool to see it. And that's the one thing that I never got into commercial fishing, because I really enjoy the people and the industry in general.
I liked what you said when you first came online there, Mike, that your trips, you want to run your trips as if they're mini long range trips, which I just think is so cool to offer somebody a 2.5 day experience that they'd only be able to get on a big luxury yacht, or one of the Highliner boats. I think that's a really good approach to running, 2.5, 3.5, 4 day trips, is make it like a long range experience with the chef and the whole deal.
So yeah, it makes a difference. It really makes a difference. It makes a difference in the fish quality, and people don't forget it. They don't forget it. They're like, we really like coming on your boat, Mike. You fish hard, and your crew is excellent. That's when I hear it, it's not just me. It's my I am nothing without these guys. You know, my crew is everything. I am very picky. I'm very picky, and sometimes it gets me in trouble being too picky because I demand a lot, and well, I've gotten a little more mellower because good help is hard to find.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Plus, you know,
luxury liner.
Yeah, you guys.
Luxury liner would be a little different.
Guys will learn more on a trip like that, fish-wise, how to fish and what to do. They'll learn more from you guys in 2.5 or 3 days than they can learn in 3 years on their own.
Oh, totally. We'll teach you.
Yep.
We'll teach you. If you can't cast down swell and we're fishing at night, there's 2 guys on the bow and 1 on the stern, and we're casting you out, everybody, one at a time, boom, boom, boom. You know, just to get you down there.
Yep.
You know, just to teach you the importance about being straight up and down and not having too much scope, because you're really not deep when you have a lot of scope.
Yeah, you're up too far.
Yeah, we don't sell any tackle on the boat. We give it to you, and if you lose it, well, then you got to buy it. But you know, like hooks and stuff, we just give the hooks away. I probably should sell them, but I just can't. I don't.
Well, you're offering a complete package. You know, you're not nickeling and diming these guys. So if somebody comes on your boat, they feel like they're an important part of your operation. You're treating them like such.
I'm trying. I'm trying. You know, the price of fuel and everything else, you never know. You might get hit with a small fuel surcharge. So I just don't want to, you know, helium and all that stuff. I mean, granted, it's more than $60 a balloon.
Yep.
We don't charge for helium or a flyer. We just give it to you if they're, you know. But yeah, I don't like to. I don't want people to come on thinking they're getting nickel and dime to death. They won't come back, and you know what? They won't tip either. You know, they hurt them so mad that it's not worth it.
Yeah, it leaves a horrible taste in your mouth when you feel like you're being taken advantage of.
Absolutely. I mean, the last 2 charters that we had of the season were 3 days. And as you guys remember, there was really nothing to catch as we were moving on towards the end of October. So I gave them the option that if they just wanted to cancel and rebook the next year. I couldn't do it. I couldn't take their money. And, you know, now it hurt me a little bit, but they're coming back. They've got, you know, several charters, so it makes up in the long run.
Yeah, you're building a reputation. I mean, you and the boat name. You know, Pat ran that boat, I think, for years, didn't he? Did a phenomenal job on it. But I think as you're building your reputation around the boat, that word will spread. And,
I told Pat a long time ago if he was going to sell this boat, I would buy it. He took really good care of it.
Yep.
Some of the things that he's done with it has just been incredible. You know, he's built a really good business, and he's done a really good job with it. And I'm trying to build my own family legacy with it as well.
Yes, sir.
Especially having my son over here work with me.
That's cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
I love the fact that you're saying it's a definite go. We got 3 people. We're going. That's insane.
3 people.
You know.
I know.
That's not even going to cover your fuel costs.
No. We did it last year, but we were one of the only boats that had momentum in March. And we ate it a couple of times, but I was, like you said, I was trying to build up a little bit of a reputation and a run for myself.
Paying your dues, baby.
Yep.
And then, it's so competitive. It has been since day one, but it's so competitive down there. I think you have to elevate your game to get the word of mouth up there and to get the guys coming back.
You got to do something different. You know, that's right. I really think you can't be like the other boat. You got to do something different. You got to find a niche.
Well, the fact that you run around naked all day, there's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I taught him that.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
I taught him that.
The short Dave and the short shorts on the bait tank with the
Yep.
white stance.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Those were the days.
Yep.
I remember going to work and they would check me in the morning to make sure I was wearing underwear. The good old days.
Yeah.
But hang in there, Mike Laus. We're going to talk to you again in a minute. But hey, Michael Folks, I got a legend with us right now. You know Justin very well, but you haven't met Captain Al Clowers. Al's been in the business for 40 plus years, and he's on here today, and he's super excited of a chance to meet you and talk to you. Hey, Al, say hi to Michael.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Al. Nice to see you, sir.
Yeah, nice to see you, too. Last time I heard your voice was on that little bonefish live I did.
Yep. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
From bonefish to big tuna. We do it all over here.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, you're a total legend, man. I watched the series and it's really cool.
Oh, thanks, Al. I'm glad you liked it. It's
a lot of work and a lot of really cool stuff on there.
There's a lot of cool stuff, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm a big bass fisherman too, and all that lake stuff is pretty insane.
I thought that stuff with Ray Scott was phenomenal. Having him tell us about how he started BASS,
right?
I just hearing it from his mouth was just like, oh my God. And then Bill Dance talking about how he got his show started. I thought I just love those insights into how these guys. I mean, Ray Scott was sitting there. He got blown off the water. They couldn't fish, so he took a hot shower. He's sitting in his hotel room in a bathrobe or underwear, and he was watching the NCAA. And he thought to himself, why don't we have a bass tournament like this? Why don't
right?
we have tournaments? So that's what inspired him to start BASS, and then to have him tell us what he had to go through to get that started. It was just insane. And same with Bill Dance. I mean, he's the most famous fisherman in the world, and he couldn't get a network to give him a nod to do a local Tennessee fishing show.
Right.
It's just amazing to hear Bill Pool's story. I mean, he grew up dirt poor. They were living off tomatoes in Southern California that weren't harvested. They'd go into the tomato fields as kids and pick up all the squished tomatoes and crap, come back and make a pasta. And that's what they lived on. So, I mean, you look at the Pool legacy and what he's done and where he came from. It's just, I love learning these stories about the guys that really laid the foundation for what we take for granted today.
Right.
And the evolution of the boats and those stainless steel
that ghost shrimp pump.
Ghost shrimp pumps, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm 64 and looking at all that older legacy stuff is pretty insane. It blows my mind.
It's pretty cool. It's been a lot of work, like you said, but I've really enjoyed doing it. It's been a phenomenal journey in the last 5 years putting all this together. So
right. Yeah, I'm over in Mr. Pool's old marina in Marina Cortez.
Right on. That's where I grew up. C-Dock.
Yeah, I'm on K-Dock, but I see Ingrid every now and then and Becky.
Yep.
Yeah. Both the girls are doing a fabulous job.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, don't piss them off.
No, you won't have a slip.
Yeah, well, Justin Botrell, what are you doing, Justin? How many trips you got today?
I got 2.
All right. We're watching you fish off the back of your boat for a few minutes there.
I got one trip to the boat, and I got one trip to my house.
Yeah.
Was there any current running? I saw you pitching the plastics out there. It didn't look like there was any current.
No, nothing.
No movement.
That's key, Michael. That's key. That's key.
No movement, no bite.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did a bait trip the other day with a guy that only had one day, and I told him what was up. And we had I think we had a 1 foot tide.
Nothing.
In 24 hours. It was one of the flattest 24 hours I've seen. And the fishing was tough, but we got the job done. The son never caught a fish before, so.
Oh, cool. You got something to bite. Was that under the new moon where there's no tide?
Yeah, it was last week. It was I think it was Friday.
Hey, I'm just throwing this out there. What about that solar lunar vortex? Have you guys heard anything about that?
No.
Okay.
Justin?
No, I shook my head. No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
solar
Hey,
lunar.
Mike Laus, are you still on the phone?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think? Michael Folks is asking, what do you think of that solar lunar vortex thing? You got to pay attention to that at all, or you just go because you got to go?
Well, we do, but you talking about the moon?
Yeah, well, it's the quadrants when the moon, the moon's 12 o'clock overhead and it's on the opposite side. It's just I don't understand it fully, but they were talking about how much motion is going on those quadrants. So it's not necessarily just the full moon or just the half moon. It's the quadrants between the sunrise and sunset, and it's just there's a lot of stuff in there that just really I was interested in terms of how it affects the currents and what's going on below the surface that we don't see.
Oh, totally. All right, like the magnetic pole of the Earth.
Exactly.
That's how they figure out where they're going.
Yep.
They sound a couple times a day, deep. They go deep, and that's how they figure out where they are. And they're so affected by them. Like where there's a lot of disturbance, magnetic disturbance. I've never really caught a bluefin in that area. I've never caught it. It really affects them one way or another. It really does. And I don't like fishing on full moons for tuna offshore.
No, I think it's up to the full moon. The week prior to a full moon has always been really productive for me. But once that full moon hits, forget it. It's like the light switch went off. You start another 30-day cycle.
So from what I've noticed, it seems like, I would say 6 days going up to the full moon.
Yep.
And then another 5 it was 5 the year before. Last year was like 7 days after the full moon.
Before they bite again.
7 days after the full moon, it started to pick up again.
Yep.
So,
and it would just keep building, right?
Yeah, and it would hit really hard and then just shut off.
Yep.
It would shut off. You would see them; they were all bricked up, meaning they weren't in a feeding type. When you would see them on the meter, they weren't spread out. They were real tight, close together. Just not very active, or just completely gone. And it's pretty. It's like a light switch.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it. We got to show a commercial real quick. We got a great. It's Promar Ahi USA Tuesday, gang, and we got a great thing going on right now. You hashtag Promar25 on any social media platform. And then you also tag your saltwater guide on any social media platform. I'm going to pick one picture or one post every month, and we're going to give away $200 worth of product from Promar, which is incredible. I got a little banner here, and then I'm going to show you the rock cod squirts that Justin, Al, Pablo, and so many of our people use. Now, Mike Laus isn't using these things for bluefin, but we're using these things for rockfish. I want you to see this little video real quick. We got 15% off. It's going to say 10, but Promar bumped it up to 15% off. You have to have these in your tackle box if you're going rockfish fishing. You got to have them tied to your line. Check this out. I don't know if you've been paying attention to our website, yoursaltwaterguide.com, but if you go and you look through the community section and look at all the pictures of all the great rockfish that Justin's catching with all of his clients and all the members are using, they're using these rock cod squirts, gang. These rock cod squirts are a game changer when you're fishing those rockfish. These things are already pre-rigged, ready to go. All you got to do is take them out of the package, you hook your sinker onto the already pre-tied swivel, and then you hook your main line, your piece of braid, right to the other swivel on the other end, and you have two pre-made hooks that already have squid lures on them, and these look just like the red crabs that these rock cod have been feeding on for the last 5 or 6 years out here in Southern California. These things are deadly. They work great. They also make them in a glow-in-the-dark white color. I like the pink ones the best. That seems to work the best for me, but you're gonna go with whatever you prefer. But these are the rock cod squirts.
Put in the code YSWG
And yes,
10%
I
on
love
your order.
pink, you know that. And I love the pink for sure. I'm sorry for covering up your face there, Al, but there's the QR code. Justin can talk a little bit more about this.
There's some pink ones right here.
There, Al's got some. Justin's got some. These guys use this stuff exclusively because it's just easy. You don't have to tie the gannion. They're pre-tied. They're ready to go. Use the QR code. Go over to Promar. Check out all the products. I'll get the code off your face here in a minute, Al. Here, I'll put it on Justin's face. There. Now we can see your lure, Al. Throw it up there again. And there's the white glow in the dark.
You see them? It's kind of glary in here.
Yeah, it is.
That's as dark as I can get it.
So good. Mike Laus will tell you. Michael Folks will tell you, Justin, when we're transitioning from offshore fishing to go catch some rockfish to fill the boat up real quick. Nothing sucks more than having to tie up 10 or 12 ganyons real quick to go catch cod. You pull that thing out of your tackle box, just hook it to your line, drop it down, catch your 2 vermilion rockfish that you're allowed to have in California because they're almost extinct, so that you can catch your 2 vermilions. You got 2 hooks, drop it down. If you're on a good boat with a good captain like Justin or Al or Mike Laus, you're going to get your 2 vermilions on your first drop with your 2 hooks. Hard to believe crazy. On a fish that's almost extinct, you could catch them that quick, right, Michael Folks?
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And Michael, we didn't even talk about, we haven't seen you since we won the sand bass battle the other day. Pretty exciting stuff.
I was going to ask you, what do you think about the end result with only, cutting 1 fish away from the catch?
Woo! I just think
I don't like it.
No,
Better than
it's exactly like the vermilion. If you think about it, exactly like the vermilion. So they're going to try to tell us they have science on a migratorial fish.
I know.
Vermilion are the same way. They migrate. They're all over the place, and they migrate all over from deep water to shallow water and so on and so on. I don't know. It's pretty freaking crazy, but I could say in about 3 years, we probably won't be able to catch another bass period the way things are going.
I hope not.
Well, I had Tim Ekstrom on the show the week, that Friday, right before this whole debacle. And Mike Laus, you fish long range a lot. Tim Ekstrom was talking about how many, many, many days when they're trying to catch bait down at Hippolito or some of the bays down below there, you can't even get your sabiki a foot underneath the water. You're catching 6 sand bass at a time. And Laus, you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's so thick. Sometimes it used to be to where you could get your crowder in the water and you could crowd them if you really wanted bass.
Like you crowd
sand
squid.
Bass. If you wanted to, you could. I mean, we've come back from Hurricane Bank, the boat all scrubbed and bitching, and we've caught limits of sand bass on the way back.
These people that are trying to enforce this, so they're trying to make us not catch anything, they're too scared to go to Mexico. They think it's dangerous down there.
Yeah, it is. It's scary right now.
They don't have enough.
In the water.
They don't have enough data, and they're not using fishermen. They need to use the people that are out there every day, as you know.
They don't care, Mike. They don't care. They're just out there. They have an agenda. They have been given a script that says abolish fishing. Period. That's what their process.
I agree with that, but I still think that they should hire people that do care. They should, you know what I mean? Like, because the information they're putting out is way inaccurate. My wife's a marine biologist. She has her license. She's had her license longer than me by about an hour, and she's really smart.
Did you guys take the test? Did you guys take the test together?
Yeah, we did. We did.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Very cool.
She'd look at me and she's like, "Look, you're not done yet." That was easy.
Well, I
Listen,
want
girl.
to, before we go any further, guys, I want to tell you, Ron, my buddy Ron's here with me, and we're down in Insanada right now. And I took Ron over to the Insanada Fish Market. I know you've seen it before, Al and
Oh, yeah.
Michael, Justin. We went over there this morning. I wanted to make some videos, and I can't even tell you the first bin you go to, the first guy selling fish, the very first one, there had to be 30 or 40 sand bass in that guy's bin. And they're down here, they're not sand bass, they're cabria. And then you go to the next booth, the guy's got like 150 sand bass laying there. You go to the next booth, he's got 200 sand bass laying there. And it just went down the aisle, and I videoed it all. And if you look at it, there's just so many of this. And I was telling the young man there in my English that these are an endangered species in California, and they're on the endangered species list. And you guys shouldn't be killing these things because you don't understand, man. There's not going to be any left. And the guy was telling me and Ron that every single square of his gill net had a sand bass's head in it.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. So to think that this endangered species list is thriving in a foreign country is just absolutely amazing. And it's really we are way down the Baja. We are almost 62 miles from San Diego. So you can understand where the separation is and the fear of the extinction of the sand bass.
So, I don't mean to interrupt you guys or jump in there, but so what about a spotty? Is that considered a sand bass, or is that his own? You know,
I think that's considered their own species, I hope.
They put them in 3 different categories. They put them in a sand bass, spotted bay bass, and calico bass, or a kelp bass.
Got it. Right. Okay.
And they told us 12 years ago when they changed the size limit from 12 inches to 14 inches, when they changed it with no science, because the science had already been done, and 12 inches was a sustainable size because it spawned 4 times by the time it became 12 inches. But they did an emotional closure, Michael Laus, and they closed sand bass, spotted bay bass, and calico bass on the same day. They said they were all under the same amount of pressure, and they all needed to be 14 inches to keep. Now, I've been fishing spotted bay bass
We're seeing a 14-inch spotty.
I've been fishing them for a little while. Captain Al fishes them like every day. How many 14-inch spotted bay bass have you seen in your life, Captain Al Clowers?
Man, a couple handfuls. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there's days where if I have 6 people on the boat and everything's right, they'll catch 150 or 160 of them in 3 hours, and very rarely there's a 14-incher in the mix.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's the whole thing's crazy. Justin summed it up perfect when he looks at those people. Justin's outdoorsman. He's been dealing with the F and G for a long time, has a bunch of really close friends. They don't even you can't even recognize those people as anybody you've ever seen going outside.
Nope.
Right?
It drives me absolutely crazy, and the president's the worst one.
And Justin had something he wanted to make sure everybody knew, because we both have friends that are fishing game officers. And tell them, Justin, what you wanted to say the other day.
Yeah, I got to think of the exact words. So all this stuff that the commissioners and stuff they do, the fishing game wardens that stop you, write tickets if you do something wrong, they have nothing to do with that. All they do is they enforce their laws. That's all they do. So one of my buddies wanted me to let everyone know they have nothing to do with that. A lot of them don't even agree with what they're doing, but they still have to enforce the law because that's what they do.
They must not like their job either, probably, huh?
All the ones I know, they love their job, except for one of my friends. I'm not going to say no names, but one of my friends can't wait to get the hell out, he said.
Oh, yeah. Enforcing ridiculous laws.
Yeah, their bodies don't even believe the laws they're trying to enforce.
Yeah.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something to do about it. Hey, I seen on Facebook the other day, President Trump signing documents to open up huge areas of the American Samoa and Hawaii.
Yep.
Did you guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah, and I called Tom.
We need to be that Samoan guy and get up in Trump's right next to him and have him sign off all our California stuff.
Yeah, I called Tommy Gomes right away to make sure that we knew exactly what we were talking about when that subject did come up. I want to make sure. And Tommy Gomes said, yeah, it's a good thing. It's a great thing. There's only 6 guys left even doing it for a living, American flag vessels. So it's a good thing, but it's a little too late. It's a good thing. Don't get them wrong. It's a good thing, but they pretty much wiped out our tuna industry anyway. The damage is done. You're not gonna, and Mike Laus will tell you, and Justin will tell you, and Al will tell you. Mike Laus is running a trip on Thursday with 3 people. Justin and Al are sitting here, sunny, beautiful day. You can see the sun glistening off of Justin right there. He's on his boat. These guys can't get off the dock. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore because I'm going to tell you the real reason is because the government's told everybody for so long that there are no fish, that people don't want to go fishing anymore because there are no fish, which is the furthest thing from the truth, Laus, right?
Well, yeah, and the thing that I don't understand is this is the way we catch them, the fish govern themselves. They either eat or they don't. And they either eat the hook or they don't. And I'll tell you, this is a sustainable way to catch them. It's not a net. We're not forcing them to eat, and they can just swim away. If the captain sucks, he's not going to catch anything. So it's not like, there's really a lot more to it than pick on us. Because if anything, if we were the only way to catch them like this, that the fishery would be plentiful. The fishery would be plentiful. There's no way to catch them all like this. You just can't. You just can't because, there's size limits and they either eat or they don't. And so I don't know. I think, I don't know, maybe if we marketed it differently or something. I don't know. I drive myself. I overthink things. I think way too much. But that's definitely one thing that kind of really makes me. It pisses me off.
Oh yeah. Hey, you're not the only one.
Mike, you can't hurt a fishery. We've said this all along. You can't hurt a fishery. I don't care how good of an angler you are. You cannot hurt a fishery with a rod, a reel, and a piece of string.
Right.
Period.
That's right.
You can't do it.
That.
You can be the greatest fisherman in the world, and you're not going to hurt a fishery with a rod, reel, and a piece of string. But you start stringing thousands of miles of inshore smallmouth gill nets, like you said, every square inch of his net had a sand bass head sticking through it. I mean, that's unsustainable.
It's different.
Yep.
No. Once you find out their migratory patterns and stuff like that and currents and what they like and don't like, you get pretty good at it pretty fast. Yep. Those nets can, you can take quite a few of them with a net.
Oh, yeah, you can wipe them out with a net.
Yeah, but we're not allowed to do that in America. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to tell those people that are making these decisions where Mike Laus and Justin and Pablo and Al can't go fishing on their boat because the government keeps telling everybody there's no fish. The United States of America eats more seafood than any other country in the world, yet we're not allowed to fish for our own seafood. But the president changed that the other day by signing that new law, opened up the ocean that's been closed for the last 16 years to the Samoan fishermen, which is spectacular. But he needs to look around a little bit more at all of us that are suffering so bad. Justin and Al, here we are. We can't get off the dock. Mike Laus, here we are. We can't get off the dock. These are American families that would just want to take you recreational fishing. And I believe it's because of the lies that have been fed to everybody for so long. And
they're teaching in schools now.
Yeah, they're teaching at schools. And I talk about that on my show all the time, that they're teaching the wrong thing. We, the people that are going fishing, we're not criminals. We're not criminal. We're going fishing for fish. You go outside. It saved my life. It saved Al's life. It saved Ron's life. I don't think it did much for Justin's life. Look at him.
It's crazy what happens in the last 3 years. 3 years ago, I didn't have to be on any podcast. I didn't have to make any videos. I was plenty busy with 3 boats. And now it's like podcasts, videos, seminars, and it's super slow. It's ridiculous.
I think what it is, and some people may not like this, but this is what I think. We're unsure what's going to go on in social media or this country every morning we wake up. So we don't know what's going to, everything's unpredictable right now. You know, one day this happens, the next day something completely different happens. So I think that's what's slowing it down right now. So hopefully all this crap going on gets over right away. But I wanted to say also, Dave always says that he doesn't understand why people want to go after the bluefin tuna. I have a great analogy for everyone. Here's what it's like if I go out and I hire a guide to go hunting deer, I expect to get a trophy. Or not, I don't expect to get it, but our target is a trophy. If we see little forked horns or does, little tiny bucks or does, we're not going to shoot those. We could, but we're not going to shoot those. I hired the guy to get me on something or try to get me on something big. So that's exactly like bluefin fishing. People want that experience to get something big, a trophy. They're a trophy hunter. That's why I think people want to go after those bluefin, and it's not a guarantee. Nothing's ever a guarantee. Life isn't guaranteed. You're only allowed 2. So who would want to fish for 2 stinking fish, right? But it's that whole adrenaline rush that when you hook up to it, pulling the line out, the struggle behind the whole thing, and then landing it. And then, I know Dave always tells everyone, well, you don't go and tell everyone about the whole fight. No one cares. No, but in your head, that fight's going to stick with you forever.
Yep.
Right.
So that's why people
not
want.
only that, but the
That's why we
daytime
hand them
Nat
off right
Geo
away. You don't want to fight
experience,
them.
Exactly. We love hooking them. We just don't want to
I
fight
like
them.
hooking them.
Yeah.
Hooking is
Hook
the
in
favorite
hand.
part.
Hook in hand.
Right. That's the whole part of the whole thing is getting bit.
That's it. That's the whole deal right there. After that, I don't
Here
care.
you go.
Here you go. Oh, yeah, have fun.
I mean, really, if you catch a 150-pound fish, what are you going to do with 80 pounds or 70 pounds of meat? What are you going to do with it? It's going to sit in your freezer for a year. You're going to pull it out and go down. It's not good anymore.
Yeah.
Give it to your family, friends,
Pass it around to your friends and neighbors.
mechanics, people that help you out.
But it's all about the fight. Whole thing. It's the adrenaline rush, seeing the fish right before you get hooked up, listening to the captain saying there's fish underneath us, drop them. And then as soon as you get that bite, like everyone just said, as soon as you get that bite, fish is on, that rod's bent, and now it's a fight.
Yep.
So that's why everyone spends buku bucks to go after these trophy bluefin tuna. Same thing with elk or deer. People spend $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to go get one elk.
Yep.
One elk. Whoop did he do? I mean, to me, I think, wow, $10,000 to $20,000 to go. I used to guide for hunting deer out here, and people used to pay, $4,000 to $5,000 to go get a deer. They don't expect to go out there and get a little 2-point deer or 4-point deer. They actually want something bigger. That's why they hired me. So that's just my thought of it. That's all.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think you need the right group. You need the right groups.
That's very important when it comes to the big fish.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have it on our boat where we'll tell everybody, you guys want to start catching these things, you're going to help us rig flyers. You're going to start gaffing. We're going to send the kite out, and we're going to get, we'll start hooking to show you how to do it, and then we get everybody involved.
Yep.
Try to catch as many as we can. I want to catch all 15 that are swimming out there, so
Yep.
get it out fast.
That's the other thing is when you get into these big fish, where a whole bunch of people are hooking up and the fish are coming up all at once. You don't want tangles, so you have to tell the clients, listen, we need help. If you're not reeling in a fish, grab a gaff. Start gaffing these things.
That's what we do. If you really suck, we just back your drag off a little bit. The fish comes to the surface and isn't straight up and down anymore. We can wail on the ones that are straight up and down, and then BP
Yeah.
later.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But but when they're gone and there's nothing else, there's no more big ones to catch. That's the part it's really hard to market your boat just on catching big fish because they're not always going to be there. I don't think,
Yeah, that's why I also make that comment about, these guys that buy these boats that go 932 miles an hour and all they target is bluefin tuna. I mean, unfortunately, when the big tuna are gone, what are you going to do? Lobster trips on a $1 million boat? I mean, you're going to go out for calico bass to the islands?
No, that's right. That's why being diversified is important.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
From bonefish to bluefin.
Those bonefish
I can't even sell a bonefish trip on the skiff right now.
Those bonefish are fun, though, aren't they, Al?
Yeah, they're fun. You know what's cool about that whole experience is most of those trips it's a little family or dad with his kid or mom with his kid, and we mix in all those bay sharks. People knock on all those bay sharks, but I'll tell you what, when a kid catches 10 bonefish and a 100-pound ray or a 5-foot shovel nose, that makes his whole world.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Oh.
And I get a kick out of it because the energy coming from the clients, just like Mike with the big fish, but yeah, it's pretty nutty.
So Mike,
Yeah, but
I was going
Oh,
to
go
say,
ahead.
Mike Laus, just let everybody know about your trip real quick. Again, I'm going to let you go back to doing boat work, and Justin and Al and I will finish this up with Michael Folks, but I'll let you get back to your thing. Let everybody know what you got going on Thursday night and give them your phone number.
All right, guys. Well, once again, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it. I've known of you guys pretty much for a very long time, and I'm honored to be on the show right now. We have a trip leaving Thursday. It's a 2.5 day. The 2.5 day trip is a pretty good. It's a really good trip on this boat. People like the 2.5s on this boat. We're hoping to make it out with more than 3, but we're a definite run Thursday night. Well, if everybody can get down here early, we'll leave early Thursday. But it's a definite run. We'll be targeting bluefin tuna or whatever else is out there. But for now, that's all I think is really out there is bluefin. There is some yellowtail on kelps, but we'll be targeting bluefin, and meals are included. It's $1,050 person, and it's a definite run for Thursday. Give Fisherman's Landing a call. Tell them you want to go on the Pacific Dawn, and we would love to have it. You don't have to bring anything. We've got it. If you don't have it, we'll let you use it. We have all the tackle. We have everything. So if you absolutely have nothing and you just want to go fishing because you've never done it before, come on out. And we're located right in Point Loma, Fisherman's Landing. Give them a call, or you can give me a call if you want, and ask how you can get on the boat. 949 is my telephone number. 949-874-4485.
Perfect. There you go, gang. You got Mike's personal phone number. Give him a call. Mike Laus is his name. Great friend of mine. Good fisherman. Just an all-around great guy. You're going to have the time of your life on your boat. It's going to be a good way to see what this bluefin thing's all about. Takes away the intimidation to get on the boat right now and go out with 3 or 4 or 5 people. My goodness. You're going to have your own private trip. Hanging out with Mike Laus. He leaves that wheelhouse door open. You can come up there and see what he's doing. And believe me, Justin and Al and Pablo, they're going to be fishing bluefin too, but not right now when they're 125, 130 miles from Justin's dock and 70 miles from Al's dock right now. We're going to do it. We will all be involved in it, but Mike Laus has the ability, the fuel capacity, the galley, the bunk room, the whole thing. You want to get on his boat and go check it out, gang.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We'd love to have you guys.
And-
We're gonna start running here every week. So just check Fisherman's Landing schedule. You can even book online if you don't want to talk to anybody. Just go on their reservation schedule and sign up. Sign up.
All right.
Anyways, thank you guys.
Thanks, Mike. Laus, go back to work. Tell your son
All right.
tell Charlie I said hi, and hopefully we get you some people and you get off the dock. I hope.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Have a good one, Mike.
Have a good day.
See you, buddy.
Thanks.
Thanks. All right.
Cool.
Michael. Thanks for letting me bring him on to your show today, Michael. And Captain Al and Justin, we got to get you guys off the dock. And Mike, what do you think? What do you guys honestly, Mike? You've been in this industry for your whole life. You're a little bit older than the three of us, not much, but a little bit. What do you think the deal is? Why is no one going fishing?
You know, it's traditionally it's still early in the season. I mean, that's all I can attribute it to. I mean, it's still a little bit early. April is not really considered a good time to fish, or it hasn't been for all these years. May, it starts to percolate, and by the end of May and June, July, it all starts to go off. So I think it was just a little bit early. And I think, like Justin said, everything's confusing right now. You wake up in the morning, you don't know what the hell just happened the night before worldwide. So I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and you know, cost factors are something to be considered. You know, it's
right.
I mean, it's not a cheap operation to run a boat, and it's not cheap to fish on them. So I think the cost factors are an issue somewhat, and I also think it's just a little early in the season. And somebody posted earlier that everybody just watches the fish counts. As soon as the fish counts come up, then everybody jumps on a boat, but nobody wants to be the first ones out there.
Yeah, what's funny is you got that offshore scene, but you also have all this inshore stuff and all these tourists. Normally this month I would do about 18 bay trips, and I think I have 4. Yeah. 3 years ago it was all about 18 bay trips this month, and some island trips and some little half-day local trips down to the IB pipe. And
right.
Yeah, it's just crazy. You know, it's got to be, for one thing, the prices are elevated. The fuel is elevated, which generates the higher prices. Everything's more expensive, you know, and people are freaking out about their money. You know, the people with a bunch of money, they show up, you know, but the middle class are really thinking about going fishing. Normally they'll borrow the money to go fishing, you know,
the tackle box fund.
But I'm seeing a decline in the tourist kid family stuff, you know, on the little bay trips, big time.
A friend of mine was diving up off Laguna, free diving in the kelps, and he said he saw schools of yellowtail, thousands of yellowtail in the kelps off Laguna.
Just recently?
Yeah, recently.
Oh, wow.
I hadn't heard about that in a long time. So he just said it was, I mean, not just a few schools, but I mean, massive amounts of yellowtail in the kelps.
Wow.
They got their sanctuary city.
in 58-degree water or whatever it is, 59-degree water.
59 degrees water, and there were still yellows there.
Crazy.
No.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to go fishing no matter what here pretty quick. So I think I might put together a no saltwater guide trip for next week offshore, but I got to think about it. But yeah, I gotta go fishing. The lakes in San Diego are getting drained, so I'm kind of over that. It's time to go offshore. So.
Yeah, that's another crazy thing that Al and I were talking about during the middle of this fishing game commission meeting, Michael. They're draining the San Diego
lakes.
They're draining them.
For what?
Because they're moving around the water district. Just does whatever they want to do with the water. They don't care about the anglers or the water skiers or the people that just go to the lake to hang out and have picnics.
Or the poor fish.
Yeah, and the thing is, check this out. So the thing is, the city of San Diego just brought out their budget cut proposal, basically, right? And they're cutting all kinds of stuff, and they don't start from the top; they start from the bottom, you know.
Yeah, the top always wants to get paid.
Right. But anyway, just for instance, Lake Murray, it's a little urban lake, small lake, but it's open 7 days a week. They're cutting that back to 2 days a week. Lake El Cap's been open 5 days a week. That's going to be, actually, you're not even going to be able to launch a boat at the end of the month because they're sucking so much water out of it, and the launch ramp's going to be out of the water. And once the launch ramp is out of the water, the problem is the dirt is flat from there out. So you have to have a 25-foot extension tongue to put a boat in the water.
Jeez.
And they're taking it to 2 days. Lake Otay, they're taking it to 2 days. So all this is proposed right now. So there's still time to fight it. But my buddy of mine runs Save Your San Diego City Lakes on Facebook. Tommy Lowry, I fished derbies with him for a long 30 years. But he's advocating, and they're getting ready to hire a lobbyist that's intermingled within all the people in the right direction. So they're hoping that the lobbyist can turn some stuff around because the people haven't been able to do it yet.
Where's this water going to go?
It's going to it's drinking water, right? So San Vicente's even low, and they raised the dam at San Vicente 100 feet, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and it was full forever. And that's even really low. You come in 85 degree weather, park your boat, and you got to walk up these big old long launch ramps. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's getting consumed, basically, Justin. And it's a big deal. All this stuff in the saltwater going on, all this stuff in the San Diego City freshwater stuff is going on. It's just really depressing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, damn.
It's a pretty sad deal.
Yep.
It's a pretty sad time. Michael Folks,
Yes, sir.
the history of sport fishing. We got QR code going up on the screen right now. If you have not seen Michael's docuseries, 12-part, it's absolutely incredible. Captain Al was talking to Michael about it a little while ago, about what the heck's going on that show with the largemouth bass fishing. I know Justin and I have seen it. It's super exciting, super cool. And you guys should check it out. The QR code's up there. You can go watch this. The prices, you're almost giving it away for free, which is
We just revamped everything, Dave. It's $4.99, and you get the first 48 hours for free. So you can log on, watch whatever you want to watch for 48 hours and not pay a dime, or you can actually contribute. But it's only $4.99 to get access to it now. So
that's pretty incredible. And I know Elliot, you guys all know Elliot, those of you that watch the show, you know he produces a phenomenal product. He helps myself, Al, Justin, and he's helping Michael Folks a ton with this whole operation. So, you know, it's all being done professionally. It's being done right. It's being marketed the right way. But you guys have to go check it out. It's $4.99. It's almost free. It's less than what I paid for this bottle of water about an hour ago. And you can go check out the history of sport fishing. There you go. People are downloading the QR code now. Go check it out, gang. It's an absolute amazing thing. I was listening to Charlie Kirk last night talking, and he kind of brought up the fishing club and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It was pretty amazing. I had wished I had a phone number to call him because I was like, wow, finally someone is talking about it, because I didn't know about it. And I talk about it every time we go live with you.
Yep.
And it's amazing, right, Justin? Just amazing that our country was founded on a fishing club.
It was founded by guys that fished. I mean, our forefathers all fished. They were fly fishermen, and that's how they got together and under the guise of this fishing club where they could meet and talk about, you know, what it was going to take to declare an independence from Great Britain. And if they'd been caught, they would have been hung for treason. And actually, when they signed the Declaration of Independence, John Hancock, I read a quote that said he wrote his name so big because he wanted the King of England to be able to see it from a distance. And he knew, he said, I'm signing my death warrant. Our guys, Benjamin Franklin, all the guys that wrote the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution, they realized when they were writing it that they thought they were signing their death warrants. That's how amazing it was. And they were all fishermen, all into the Schuylkill Fishing Club.
Yeah, it's cool. It's super cool. I thank you to be able to look back at the history, you know. And
Hold
the
on,
cool
gang.
thing is,
Hold on, we're watching this sailboat dock. Just stop for a minute.
they don't know how to.
Hang on, let me flip the camera around. Hold on. Oops. Sorry. Shit, I can't. Oh, if he goes any closer, he's for sure going to hit the rocks. All right. He did a good
Yeah,
job.
you did. Yeah.
Got in.
We didn't
Never
get to
mind.
make anything. There wasn't nothing good out of that, darn it. It could have been, though. It could have definitely.
No, nothing at all.
Look at that, some promise.
We could
Hey, you
have.
know, another cool thing about the docuseries, Mike, is I have 6 grandsons, right? And I'm gonna share it with them. We're gonna have, you know, one evening a week and start watching it so they're educated on how it all got started, which is
I'd
really
love, I'd love to hear how what the kids think about it, because
yeah.
when I was trying to sell it to, you know, some of the big manufacturers, they all came back to me and say the kids don't care about the history. Our marketing results show that nobody cares about the history of sport fishing that's under 50. So we're not going to support or sponsor your show because there's nobody there that's going to watch it that matters to us, because we can't market to them. So I'll be real interested to see what the kids say.
All right.
You know, if you get a chance to let me know, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I sure will.
Cool. Yeah, it's.
I want to respond to Brent really quick. Brent Rodriguez, I have no clue what any of that you said means.
Controlled.
So if you can, just give me a call at 951-703-9442. That is all. I have no clue what that even means. Sorry. That's all I had to say. Yeah, I have no clue what any of So yeah. What else is new, gentlemen? I'll be out on Friday. I have one spot available if anyone wants to go. $200 a person. Half day. We're gonna go for halibut and then rockfish. My phone number is 951-703-9442.
There you go.
So yeah. What else we got? We got some crazy weather coming.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really windy Saturday and Sunday, huh?
Yeah, I hope it's not on
Friday
Monday.
afternoon starts.
Yeah.
Get out.
Friday afternoon looks like.
Get out there in front of it Friday morning.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm doing anniversary stuff this weekend, so I picked the perfect date for that. can't fish.
Yep.
Very
Are you
cool.
there? Sorry.
All right.
Hey, Dave.
Yep.
We just got new information. Now we got to clear the boat through custom. It's a giant mess going on down here.
Oh, you got to go.
Oh, Jesus. It's a mess. But whatever. Nothing.
I am gonna let you guys go though because I'm gonna do a varnish and then I'm gonna get the heck out of here so I don't
Yeah,
get
we're all
traffic.
done. Thank you guys very, very much.